So as always, we're gonna watch it first and then go into the thoughts. Let's do this. The following preview has been approved for all audiences by the creator, so thank you for that. Definitely kind of loud. Definitely a little loud. Maybe it's just my end.
Eventful day, Master Bruce.
Comes the first episode.
We know who did it. The bad news is
It's a cool shot.
who did it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like the dialogue there.
We're not playing games.
Looks like we got company.
The classic line. You guys are gonna want to see this. That's a really cool shot. These are really cool shots coming in. I watched this earlier, and a lot of this is very impressive. I love that. I love that effect. That's really cool. That's a really cool shot. That's also really, really clever and creative, and the lighting there is amazing. Batman Identity Crisis. Very, very cool. I don't even like that. That's a cool shot. Although I'm pretty sure that's a villain, isn't that? That's the Creeper. I remember from the Batman TV show, the animated series back in the 90s. So I guess let's get over it. I guess my initial thoughts is that it's very impressive, honestly. All the like some really, really creative shots, really good looking shots, really just on a technical level. You know, I think it hits every margin. I like it a lot. I like the framing. It probably might be the only time I've ever seen like a Lego Batman trailer, YouTube series thing that kind of got me excited for it, because like, you know, there's so many Lego Batman videos out there, so many Lego superhero or Star Wars, and so many Lego IP remakes or retreadings that it can get kind of hard to really be excited for it. But this is the way you animated a lot of this, the way it's framed specifically, and the way you kind of, you know, I guess if we're talking about the trailer specifically, this trailer uses music really well, and it uses its intercutting action really well. So I'm assuming you already have a lot of this done, but this set design, you know, the set design, this is a great shot right here. You know, I'm assuming this is Wayne Manor. Maybe the brown is a little bit too brown, but that's a nitpick. You know, who really cares? Still looks really great. You know,
Eventful day, Master.
Is this just how a Lego piece looks like? I didn't even know that. I didn't even know they just had the drink in them now.
Bruce.
I will say maybe the animation itself is just a little bit, unsteady, I guess. You know, he's kind of like, his whole body is kind of shaking for this head turn animation. But this is, again, one of those things where it's like, you could ignore this for the most part. It's only like if you're a really big stickler for having everything be perfect, which I recommend against, because let's be real, okay, at this point, you know, it's either you make your thing perfectly or your thing actually gets finished. So, you know, sometimes you gotta choose where to you gotta pick your battles. I don't even know how annoying this shot must have been, because this is very clearly like, you know, masking footage screen on top of a computer, and having a character in front of it actually be animated. That's just, you know, like that's how I know. You put the dedication, you put the time.
Good news is
Honestly, the only question I really have is, when is this gonna come out? Because this looks fun. I love this framing here. You know, I really like how, like, you know, just you're focused first on this guy because he comes up with a gun, and then the camera shifts, and then your eye focuses to this guy. His name is Jock.
bad news is
I really wish I had more to say, genuinely speaking, because like everything about this feels so, I don't even know, like it's just so well put together. Like this little ha 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 is great, but that's not even beginning to speak about how
no.
this set design specifically here. You know, you have all these beakers, you have all these little lab equipment settings, and the guy here, right, just makes you, this whole video is a real testament to how the little things really add up to create what feels like a much more grand experience. And it's why you know, if you're one of those creators, you know, who don't really know why do my sets feel so empty, it's because you got to add in all these little things. You got to add them where they belong. I guess I like this shot a lot too. I love how like, you know, it's just, it looks like a painting, you know, like you have this clear mountainous range in the background that's framing all these characters, you know, like all this red is so defined that we can't help but to, you know, be focused on just this small part of the screen, but everything else is also just really well done. It's like you frame the characters within the mountain, you know, it's like a frame within a frame. You have to be conscious. You even are careful as to not let them kind of bleed through the gray cracks, except for this guy here. But again, it's small detail. It's just really, really small. Like the vision is there. That's it. Again, this animation itself, the animation itself, I think, could just be a little bit more cleaned up. I think doing a flip like this is honestly pretty hard. But I definitely would have appreciated, I think, having another frame of this guy kind of more in the middle of the peak of his jump, right around here-ish, where I'm like circling with my mouse. This is just a bit fast, is all. Does he ever leave the ground? He does for one frame, yeah. And then here you can see the sticky tack, but that's only because I went frame by frame and I looked for it. So that's just not. It's not. People aren't gonna notice that, you know. Also, this turnaround here maybe is a little bit strange, but it is the creeper, right? He moves kind of weirdly, but even still, the one thing is in this particular frame is that you move him forward here, but his head then immediately moves back. And then down, like his whole line of action, his whole, like, you know, arc isn't quite clear for every single part of his body. Like, it's pretty good on his body here specifically. Like, his body does follow a line, a very clear line. His head doesn't though, which kind of breaks it. That's cool. I didn't even catch it my first time watching. That's just with the moving camera too. Damn.
Looks like we got company.
I don't like that line, but it's fine. It's just, it kind of reminds me of a you're gonna want to see this, guys, kind of thing, you know. It's just one of those classic pulpy cliche lines. But, you know, I haven't seen the actual video. This might work in its context. This might even be done ironically, which might make it funnier, but I don't know, you know. It's your film at the end of the day. This is so cool. I love this. Great use of silhouette, great use of just background elements. Really makes this whole set feel much bigger. I will say though, if you do pay attention, it is pretty clear that the ground itself is not moving. It's kind of more like just these cars are moving and the background is moving, but not the actual camera or the ground, which can be a useful technique to, you know, help falsely extend your sets. But there's definitely other ways around it to make sure everything's moving. Like, for example, you can have like a tiled ground, I suppose, that you can run along the bottom of your set, so that way you can keep feeding it through, while never actually having to move the camera. It's just another thing you gotta move, right? Same with the buildings and the cars. This shot is excellent. I like this a lot. Really, my only problem with this video is kind of these studded floors. I just don't like the way they look. But, you know, I mean, that's a nitpick. That's another nitpick. It's one thing you can ignore. But I think it would make your film better if all these grounded areas were like flat tiles. That makes it look cool and reflective. This is still really cool though, because you have this whole ice blast, ice beam, and it knocks down all the things. And you have, you know, it's such great framing too, because Batman initially starts off kind of facing towards the camera, which isn't great for silhouettes, especially for Lego characters. But you do have him twist into the side, and you do have him clearly get down. This is cool. I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but it is cool. And yeah, this shot of the creeper kind of just flexing his might. You know, this is a nice shot, but I think this shot, when I first saw this, was what really convinced me on this project. Because it's just one of those things where it's like, you can feel it, you know, you can feel the aggressiveness, you can feel him tensing up, you can feel it all in the animation. And it's a very simple animation, but it's still something that not a lot of people do. Definitely not enough people do stuff like this. Just something to show off, something to animate the character with that shows off a part of themselves. This is excellent, just excellent. Again, all this looks cool. You know, you're hyping up the villains. You know, it's one of those, hey, everybody's here kind of things. I recognize these characters. You know, it's what you expect out of Batman. This is a cool shot, actually. It starts off as a stud, and then turns into a pistol. Not only that, but it looks like you actually masked out the little nub on what's it called? On the arm that is what's used to connect the arm to the actual torso piece. That's pretty interesting. I've never seen anybody do that. That's just a great line of action, great follow through, great. Yeah, it looks like the top of this gun is missing for some reason. Maybe some masking error. But this is a great line of action and great follow through and just great settling at the end there too. It all looks perfect. And this shot is insane. I have no idea how you did it. The lighting, I'm assuming, is coming directly from the bottom of all these magma bricks with these cottons and the skeleton just slowly rising. That's perfect, dude. That's really, honestly, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say about all this. It's just good. It's just really good. Really great shots. I love these interior shots. I love how you use different faces for Batman because, I mean, it kind of looks goofy, but, I mean, it still adds a lot to it. Batman isn't always on top of things, and I love seeing when he's kind of, like, in trouble. These sets, now, I could talk about the set design, right? But it's also the lighting that's incredible, too, because the way the light just kind of peers in through the side, giving Bane this really nice, cool blue rim lighting, especially on his left side here, whereas the red lighting coming in from the right, it really helps make the scene just feel so much more complete. It all just comes together in such a gnarly way, and you actually broke that piece for that. Damn. This is commitment. You have a lot of Lego too. Yeah. This is the little motion blur right here. With all the cotton. All of it's so cool. All of it's just really cool. I guess, like, one thing, like I said, like, nitpick wise, the one thing I would say is, you know, get rid of the studded floors, because that kind of can break the immersion, or just make, I guess it makes the sets feel a little bit less authentic, you know, with these stud floors. But that's still such a cool shot. I love this. I mean, I'm guessing this is a green screen enhanced, but if not, you're a madman. It's honestly, like, that's the thing, right? I can't even say for sure if it's like green screen or, you know, some type of digital effect, because it's honestly, if it is extremely precise. Even getting these bits in between the bricks right here, which is something else entirely. It's very clean. It's all very clean. Honestly, now that I think about it, the more I look at the shot, the more I wonder if it's actually a green screen or if you actually just set up the shot to look like this. That's insane. Like, for real. These expansive sets. The cotton trails are a fun thing. I don't really see that often, or at least often enough. I don't even know what's going on in the background there, but it's just action, you know? So much action, so much. Every shot tells me that you're not afraid to put in the work, which is so important. And this is another really, really cool shot. You know, that's the thing, right? Your video, it seems like it has that brick filmy feel, but it also, like, borrows a lot of elements from, like, cartoons and animation. That's, like, you know, not necessarily stop motion, which is really cool. I love this. The green glow. I'm assuming this is Ace Chemicals, but damn, this is great sets. This is a great set. And like I said, the trailer itself is really well. It's really well paced. Really well at, you know, like, hyping it up. You know, setting the stage and just escalating just that right amount. I will say this shot, maybe again, you can see that the ground tiles aren't actually moving, so it kind of breaks the illusion a bit. This kick is kind of weird as well, but that's a cool way to do it. Actually, you have this little piece extending his leg. But I guess the weird thing about this kick is that he doesn't lean forward enough to really highlight the fact that he's about to kick somebody. So from my perspective, the kick kind of just comes out of nowhere. I thought he was gonna, like, hug him. Like, he puts his arms out, so I thought he was gonna, like, you know, like, do that or something, you know, grab him with his fists or going for a punch, but he kicks him, which kind of comes out of nowhere. Ba-da-doom. I will say the action doesn't feel too clean in this shot either. Like, I think yeah, I feel like the action is clear, which is arguably the most important thing, right? But it's not impactful. I feel like it's because we don't have much wind up for these characters. So Batman backhands him here, right? But he doesn't really lean into it with his whole body. He doesn't really like, he doesn't like wind up and then boom, just releases it, which I feel like is one of the keys to making impactful feeling hits. Is to really build up the punch before you like let loose with it. That kick also is not necessarily telegraphed. Like with animation, you definitely have to telegraph it. Now I know in a real fight, telegraphing something is probably the last thing you want to do, but this isn't a real fight. This is stylized action, so that's kind of okay to do because it looks best for the camera. Yeah, I don't think the kick is quite. He doesn't lean into it, right? He kind of just jumps into it. Although that being said, the action still very clear, very good angle too for it. Just needs just needs more of those wind ups and like fast releases to really feel like the hits are more impactful. Make sure you're telegraphing them. Make sure you have this before you have that. That's pretty much it. Honestly, this is a really great video. Like just this shot tells me it's like this clear understanding of cinematography, clear understanding of of set design, lighting, all that stuff, direction. I mean, I haven't seen the actual video yet. This is the trailer, but just judging from the trailer alone, this is pretty baller. I really enjoyed this one. I'm really excited to see when the whole thing comes out. But yeah, thank you very much for donating to the Patreon. If you would like a Patreon critique yourself, feel free to donate to me at Edbound on Patreon. They're only $1, so yeah. Anyways, with that, peace.